we have to begin with internal orders. So like I said yesterday, internal orders is used for specific activities which cannot be taken to a specific cost center. So an internal order is created for the same and settled over a period of time. Let's create an order master data first. Path, IMG, controlling, internal orders, order master data, define order types. Transaction code KOT2 underscore OPA. KOT2 underscore OPA. Please click on new entries. Order category. Please select 01 for internal order. It's a predefined order category. For internal order, 01. Enter. Keep the name of your internal order. AB2, AB1 is already there. Description. Planning profile, all predefined standards, general. General budget. Object class, overhead cost. Release immediately. And save. When we save, it will throw an information that the number range has not been processed. Our next step is to assign the number range for internal orders. When we assign number range for internal orders, we will come back to KOT2 underscore OPA and check if that number range has been assigned. Save. Enter. Continue. Please come back. Now we will maintain number ranges for orders. KO and K. Similar to like how we created number ranges for controlling documents. Please click on groups, maintain groups. Create a group, or we can use an existing one itself. We can use the standard. can create our own group or use existing standard. Click on create if you want to create your own group. Give a number range, enter, save, enter. See, this is the problem in new version. This is the current version. The older version used to display what are the number ranges that are free, the free numbers. The current version does not display that. Okay. It's difficult to find out which numbers are free. So what we do, we take an existing standard provided by SAP, anything, like the first one, motor pool, A to Z, 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 Z. Or we'll take this process orders. Five, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000. 900,000. Save. Okay. Okay. I've given the number range, these number range, which means I can create 100 internal orders.
Okay.
100 internal. Come back.
Always is 100.
No, it's left up to you. I've just
Oh,
created
okay.
one.
This is a sample. Okay, okay.
It's left up to the requirement of the organization. So the group which we just created will appear here. Is it this? Where did it go? Once you, once you create the group, please select the internal order which we created in KOT2. Please select this and click on element/group. It will display all the groups which has been created. This is the one which we created. Please select ABC1, internal order number ranges. Copy. And this AB2 has now, it will now be sitting under this group. Okay, save. Changes have been saved. Please come back. Now if we go to define order types, KOT2 underscore OPA, you will see that the number ranges would have been assigned. Our internal order position AB2. Its number range has been assigned. Earlier it said not assigned. Number range has not been processed is what it said when we were saving the order. Please come back. Now this internal order needs to be settled. The internal order master data is first created and then settlement is done. Path, IMG, controlling, internal orders, actual postings, settlement, first activity under settlement, maintaining settlement cost elements. Settlement cost element is a secondary cost element. Please click on create secondary settlement cost element. Just double click on create secondary settlement cost element. Our controlling area, one. Cost element. I'm using 6 digits because our primary cost element and the GLs are also of 6 digits.
Mm-hmm.
Valid from the start of our financial year or the current date. Master data. Click on master data. The name and description. As usual, the cost element category would be 21 in this case, internal settlement. Save. Second activity under settlement, maintain allocation structures. Transaction code OK06. We already have a default allocation structure for A1 CO allocation structure. We'll use the standard A1, or if you wish to create your own, you can. New entries. Allocation structure contains the various elements of the internal order. So like for example, in our yesterday's example, I said there's an engine which is going to be manufactured to perform, to enhance the performance of the vehicle. The various components involved in selling the engine. Okay, there can be rent involved for displaying the engine. You're putting it in a car show. The advertisement cost can again be through newspapers, trade journals, televisions. All the components involved in this internal order, then salaries to the resources, bonus, incentives, allocation structure, a zero something. Description, save. We select this allocation structure and click on assignments folder. Double click on assignments folder. New entries. Here we put in the various components of this internal order. For example, enter. It will show a yellow triangle saying that it's incomplete. It should turn to green. Please select this assignment and component and double click on source folder. From cost element, this one, ABC, internal order cost element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now double click on settlement cost elements folder. New entries. The receiver category is the cost center. It's going to go to a particular cost center, and please select by cost element or the settlement cost element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but not both. Either put a check mark on this and leave this blank, or leave this blank and give the settlement cost element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Both mean the same. And save. Now if we go to assignments folder again, this would have turned green. Please come back. Create a settlement profile now. Maintain settlement profiles. Under this, two activities. A. Maintain settlement profiles. Double click on maintain settlement profile. New entries. Name. This the profile, see, as the name goes, settlement profile. Profile refers to the description, how it needs to be settled, what are the properties of this internal order. A profile describes the internal order, the properties of the internal order. So this information has to come from the client. Allocation structure we just created is 0. Object type cost center. Percentage settlement, amount settlement. Like I said, all these has to come from the client, how it is to be settled. Document type, it's a GL account document, SA. Maximum number of distribution rules, residence time. Residence time refers to the number of months over which this internal order cost has to be settled. Now I say 6 months. 6 months, the maximum number of times it can be settled is 3 times. Say the cost is about 100,000. This 100,000 cost internal order can be settled over a period of 6 months, 3 times. Okay. Can be 30,000, then 40,000, then again 30,000. Something like that. May not be equal, but spread over 3 times. Save. Back. Now this profile needs to be assigned to the order type. We created an order type in KOT2 underscore OPA, AB2. This settlement profile needs to be assigned there. So activity B, enter settlement profile and order types. Position, order type, AB2. Please come to the settlement profile column and select the settlement profile which we just created. ABC1, S1. Save. The last configuration. Maintain number ranges for settlement documents. Transaction code KO8N. Please click on maintain groups. And ABC1 is here. This ABC1 element, we need to assign it to the standard accounting document here, to this group. This is a predefined group by SAP standard accounting document. We need to assign ABC1 to standard accounting document. How to assign? Please select ABC1, click on element/group. We select the first 01, copy. Now if we go down, ABC1 would have been attached to standard accounting document. Here, save. Back. Now we'll go to transaction code F-02. What is F-02? No. Yes?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's a lot code.
Okay. GL account posting.
Okay.
So please enter the date. The code. Period.
This is one code that you use a lot, no? The 02.
Yes. So let's say we are going to debit. We are incurring some expenditure. Telephone expense. Debit telephone expense. Sorry. 6. Subtract. Now you find a field here, cost center and profit center. So to cost center department A or department B, this expenditure is being incurred. To which profit center it should hit? Department A has the profit center cement attached to it. Department B has steel attached. Because it is department A, we'll select cement. Credit, bank, 200, 100. Enter, start, plus, simulate or document overview, post. Document 29 was posted. KSB1, we go to KSB1, displays actual cost line item for cost center. Controlling area, from cost center, department A to B. Displays only 5,000. We have posted only 5,000. Then just give me a few minutes. I'll drink water then. Hello? There you
Yeah.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'll drink water then.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
Or if we want to post multiple items also, that can be done with the same F-02.
Ram, how you
Yeah.
do for open different windows of SAP? Because you are working with different windows.
Oh, you mean
You have
this?
the
You mean I
yes.
have two
How
windows?
you?
See,
Yeah.
there is this, you see
Okay.
this icon,
Yeah.
fourth from the last, create a new session.
Okay.
Click on this, it'll open a new session.
This is useful because if you use a
Yeah.
lot the GL.
One user, so with one username, so if you are using online FI09, any username as a matter of fact, with one username you can have up to a maximum of 6 windows open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, more than 6, it'll throw a message maximum number of SAP GUI sessions. You cannot create
Okay.
more than 6.
But with 6 is fine, no?
Yeah, 6 is more than.
You don't need more.
How much do you need?
This is very spare, more than
Yeah,
6.
okay. So 40, 40, 50. Say I'm going to debit salaries, rent, both. We don't have salaries. No. Okay. Rent and electricity 400, 300, 400, 301. Bank 200, 100. Amount
Are you asking me?
No, I was just thinking what amount to put.
Okay. I was thinking I don't know what amount.
No, no,
Okay.
any amount. I was just thinking
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah, I know.
department. A, enter, and save. Document 30 was posted. Let's go to KSP1. Back. Controlling area. KP cost centers. We only have department A. We can put department B also, but it's not going to show anything because we don't have any data in department B. The rent, electricity, telephone for this particular department. Now, there are cases where um, you know cost is being reposted from one cost center to another cost center. In this case, only a controlling document is created. FI document is not involved. Oh, say I have for 30,000. Out of 30,000, a particular amount goes to say department B.
Mm-hmm.
Say 3,000 goes to department B. Okay, reposting of cost. Reposting of cost is KB61. Please enter the document number. I think 30. Company code. Cost element. Rent 400, 300. Cost center, department A, and execute. Please double click on this current value, 30,000, and under the new account assignment, please enter the amount, delete this, and please enter the amount which needs to be transferred to the other cost center. Say transferring 10,000 to department B. Save. Sign in number. KANK, controlling document number ranges. So what it said, the error which it said was, we saw all these elements, predefined elements. We created a group. All
Mm-hmm.
these elements needed to be assigned to this group. We only saw a few of
Controlling.
them. Yes, we only saw a few of them being assigned COI and FIPA. We only assigned these elements to ABC1. The error
Okay.
now that it shows is for reposting of controlling line items,
Yeah.
RKU3 needs to be assigned to ABC1. So we'll select RKU3, which is repost CO line item, and bring it to ABC1. Please select RKU3 and click on element/group. select ABC101 and copy. Save. Let's go to KB61. Document number, accounting document number 30, cost element 400, 300, cost center department A, execute. Double click on the line item, 30,000. 10,000 belongs to department B and save. Document is posted under number 3. This is the controlling document number. No FI document is involved here. And we have another end user transaction code, OKP1. OKP1 is maintain controlling period log. We had OB52 FI, if you remember, open and close posting periods, in which you open a particular period, only that period is opened in which postings are to be done. Similarly, in controlling, to control the periods, the transaction code is OKP1. Enter the controlling area, fiscal year, the version 0, and then click on actual. Now, 16 periods, if you remember, 12 normal periods and 4 special periods. All these are controlling activities. Whichever activity you want to do in whichever period, if it is left unchecked, it means you can do postings in that period. If the period is tick marked, it means that period is locked for posting. You cannot do posting in periods other than the third period, which is June. So if it is check marked, it is locked.
You said you can't under or after?
You
Before
cannot.
or after?
You cannot. So you can do postings only in the third period, which means June.
Okay.
You cannot do postings in April, May, July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan.
Okay. Only the currently period.
Yes. So if it's unchecked, you can do postings. With check mark, it is locked. Cannot do postings. Save it, and then you won't save it. In FI, we have the transaction code OB52, if you remember. The open and close posting periods. In this case, all the 12 periods are open. In this case, ABC1 here to here. So in this case, postings are possible only in the month of June, no other period. If I want to do postings in July, I will delete all 3 and put 4th. 4th period refers to July. Okay. I think that is pretty much it. We're done with controlling. Okay. We have only 2 topics left. Tax on sales and purchase. And what is the other one? FI with MM integration. Okay.
The tax.
I I'm doing this at the end because I should have done this before controlling. But I didn't want to touch it because tax is a dry subject, and moreover, it is country specific. I'm going to take it up as how my country follows.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm not sure how it is in UK or other countries.
Okay.
Tax
Okay.
is a
No
very
problem.
country specific. Tax
Yeah,
is a subject
that's
which is
true.
very country specific.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure how it is followed in UK, uh, but the principle remains the same. The configurations would remain the same. All you would need to do is just change the rates, percentages, and the formulas on which uh, the taxes are calculated.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I
No
have
problem.
found something. Yesterday, I found some document which I will forward it to you. This is specifically for European countries, UK, uh, Belgium. This is for
Regarding the VAT.
this is specifically for
Europe.
yes, UK, Belgium in particular.
Okay.
So I think this should be useful to you.
Yes, if I'm here, yes. Well, anyway, now the companies work with a lot countries and depends the transaction. Uh, so I have one question now because, for example, is if my company is
Mhm,
based in UK,
mhm.
we will follow the UK tax, the VAT.
Yes, yes.
But if the company do a transaction international with, for example, with Spain with different VAT, we
No,
still using the UK.
in that case, there is something called export procedure or import procedure. It depends.
Uh, uh,
If you're purchasing something from, say, Spain,
yeah.
then there will be something called an import procedure. For import procedure, you'll have to find out what tax policy your country follows. Then if you are selling something to Spain, to a company in Spain, then you'll have something called an export invoice. You're exporting goods from UK to Spain. There again, you'll have a different policy. Uh, I believe that's also covered. Yeah, see, I have something called export and import. Export step selected, import step selected. Based on departure country, based on the
Okay.
percentage. It is a bit complicated. It is. Most of the times you have separate tax consultants. These are the people who specialize in taxation. But sometimes, see, the thing is today companies are doing cost cutting. So they expect one consultant, mostly the FI consultant, to do the tax part as well. So I'll send this across to you, or I'll place this in the folder.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So before we
I
start,
need to find.
yes,
Sorry,
sorry.
Tom. Did you find this document looking in Google? Because I need to find one for Spain as well.
Should be there.
In Google, no? You found it.
Yes.
Okay. I can find later, no problem.
Okay.
Well, maybe you are more expert than me, but
No.
you find this document.
Yeah. So before begin the actual configuration part, doing the things in SAP is quite easy when you know the domain, what entries needs to be posted, but you need to know the domain first. Taxes are basically of two types. Input, output. Input tax refers to tax on purchase. Tax on sales. Now you have various components if you go to tax on purchase. Okay. One, you will have the basic amount. On this basic amount, you will have a lot of other components. You will have a VAT. I'm going by a UK. You have a standard VAT. Otherwise, if you see in our country, we have something called basic excise duty. Excise duty. I'm not going to touch this because it does not pertain to you. Excise. Cess. Cess refers to a added value on excise. And VAT. VAT or CST. Either one of them, not both. VAT refers to
Sorry.
VAT refers to sales or purchase made within the state. So if I'm making the purchase or sale within my state, within a particular state, only VAT will be applicable. Now if it is between other states, it will be CST, Central Sales Tax. Okay. The state government taxes won't be applicable. The central government taxes would be applicable. Depends on where the difference, and excise and cess would remain the same. The percentages would differ. But I don't think this is being used in UK. A flat rate called VAT is being used. I think this is the case. VAT, 20% or something, right? Am I correct? A flat rate of 20%, is it?
20%.
Okay. So be it, we'll use one VAT at 20% on input and one VAT on say 10% or 15% as an example. I don't want to keep it 20%. Same on output. How is this configured in SAP? On sales also, is it 20% a flat rate? Or
Sorry, Ram?
on sales also, is it 20%? Or
I think yes. I am only 2.5 years in UK, but
okay.
until now the transactions that I saw in the companies, they put 20% and that's it.
Okay, both purchase and sales.
Yeah, I think yes.
Okay. All right.
For
These
discounts and
percentages can be manipulated if you know the correct ones. So that's okay. All you need to know is how to configure in the system. These percentages you can change anytime. So let's assume it is 20%. First thing we need to do is create condition types. Step 1 is to create condition types. Oh, sorry. So sorry. ING, Financial Accounting New, Financial Accounting Global Settings New, Tax on Sales and Purchase, Basic Settings, Basic Settings, Check Calculation Procedure.
RAM?
Yes, check calculation
Sorry,
procedure.
I lost your connection.
OBYZ, the transaction code. Please double click on define condition types. But there are some predefined. Just give me a minute. I'm seeing if there is a procedure for UK. There is a procedure for Spain.
And if you select Spain automatic, the system
Yeah.
knows the tax?
Yes, it's something is there for tax percentages. It wouldn't know. The procedure, the calculations, the formula would have been already set up. On what basis, on what amount the percentage to be calculated. The percentage we need to define. There's something called sales tax. Step 1 is to define condition types. One condition type for base amount, the other condition type for input tax, one for output. Basic settings, check calculation procedure, double click on define condition types. There's a standard for input and output tax procedure. And MWAS and VS. input MW S MWAS, or is it the AS for output, VS for input? Base amount we need to create. New entries. AB. Yes. Any 4 characters. ABC1 base amount. Description. Condition class. Okay. Oh, sorry. B. Condition category. Okay. Save. Back. To create condition. Step 2. Check and change settings for tax processing. Transaction code OBCN. New entries. In fact, here also we would have some predefined keys. We'll use that. Check and change settings for tax processing. OBCN. We have standard for input tax as MWS. We'll use that.
WS?
MWS.
Ah, okay.
So standard
Okay,
for
output tax.
standard for output. Is it?
I like this part, the tax.
VST for
I don't know what is. I think I understand more.
do you find this interesting? Is it?
Yeah.
So give the process key. come to India and see the tax system over here.
Yeah. Why is difficult?
Then you should then let me see if you say that you enjoy tax. It's the
Because
most it's
you
the
have a lot.
most complicated system in the
Oh,
world. SAP itself does not
really?
have any standards for India localization.
Oh,
It has
and you need to
created
enter manually.
no. There is a separate module itself called SIN. We have something called SIN, Country, India, Nation, in which all the indirect taxes are dealt with. Your service tax, central excise tax, customs, mm, all the indirect taxes. To study indirect taxes itself is a big headache. At different rates within the state, outside the state, import, export, lots of complications. It's unlike other countries, which is pretty much straightforward. You have a simple VAT at this percentage for certain products. You have a VAT at this percentage for other products. Simple, straight, uh, flat percentage. But we have also introduced, currently the government has introduced something called GST, which is the current system is going to be abolished, and we are also going to be at par with the other nations, a flat rate of percentage. Different products are categorized under one head, and the flat rate is charged. So that'll be easy. So there's a huge demand for tax consultants these days. So, okay, coming to process key, please click on new entries and enter the process key, any 3 characters. I'm taking a standard MWS for output tax. Tax
Okay.
type would be 1. 1 is the standard for output tax, 2 is for input. And posting indicator, please select 2. 2 means when you are posting an entry, the tax would be shown as a separate line item and not included in the invoice value. And save. Similarly, repeat the procedure for input tax. I have taken the standard BST for input tax. Please click on new entries. Give the 3 character key, description input. This time please select the tax type as input tax. 2. Posting indicator, 2. Separate line item. And save. Once you're done with the process keys, please come back to OBYZ, check calculation procedure. Now double click on define procedures. New entries, ABC1 tax procedure. Save. Save. Select the procedure and double click on control data. In control data new entries, you're going to specify the formula based on which the input or output tax will be calculated. To find out this formula, you should know the entry, the journal entry that falls. In case of input tax, status on purchase, purchase account debit, Then you will have a VAT component. This would be VAT paid to vendor. In case of this would be customer to sales VAT payable. This is the current liability. Payables are current liabilities. Paid is the current asset.
Mhm.
Okay. So step 10, condition type, base amount. I think made a note of it here. Base amount condition type is A004. Input tax is calculated on the base amount. This is what it means. Then we have MWAS is again calculated on the base amount. Input and output both will not come. It will either be an input tax or an output tax, which means it's either going to be a purchase. If the scenario is purchase, then input tax will be applicable. If sales is involved, an output tax would be involved. So 20% on the base amount, 20% on the base amount in both input and output tax. And also the account key. Account key is nothing but the process key which we created. For input it is VST. In case of output it is MWS. Save. Data was saved. Next procedure, next step, step 3 I believe. Assign country to calculation procedure. Transaction code OBBG. The tax procedure which we have created now has to be assigned to country Great Britain. Position, if the country GB, enter, And please remove the existing tax procedure and let us enter our procedure. ABC1 TP. Save. Data was saved. Please come back. Our work in the basic settings is over. We now need to create GLs, do an automatic assignment. That's the most important part in automatic assignment. OB40 is the most important part in tax. We need to create GLs for VAT paid, VAT payable, and make some changes in purchase and sales GL. Will be done in the GL master data FS00. Okay, I'll touch that in the next session. Okay, right.